Hi, I'm Aaron with Flint Outdoor Magazine. We're here at SWAT Firearms, located in Campbell, Texas. We're going to get some shots of us going around the shop and checking out some of their builds, and in particular looking at their CNC mill and how they actually build these rifles here. They specialize in AR builds, and they have some future products that sound like they're going to be really, really cool, but we can't quite share with you yet, so you just stay on the lookout for that. Thank you.
Extreme pleasure today of visiting with S.W.A.T Firearms, America's #1 selling real billet rifle. Founded in 1999 as a father and son team, S.W.A.T Firearms has taken the AR industry by storm in providing premier quality with their 6061 T6 aluminum alloy lowers, precision machining, and custom Cerakoted finish. The staff at S.W.A.T represent a diversity of personalities and expertise and feature a mostly female crew that shoot straight, sell hard, and run circles around most men in the AR knowledge. If you get the opportunity to meet this fine group of men and women at one of the many gun shows or conventions they attend, you'll see why we love them as much as everyone else does, making S.W.A.T Firearms one of the most popular and most influential AR producers in the world.
Okay, so this is a brainchild between me and Andy Hallinan over at Florida Gun Supply. After the Chattanooga shooting in Tennessee, Tennessee, Chattanooga, whatever, on the military base, he decided to turn his gun store, Florida Gun Supply, into a Muslim-free zone, just because he wasn't wanting to aid and abet domestic terrorism. So what he did is he called me and said, let's make a gun that no Muslim will ever want to pick up. So what we did here on this side of the lower, we inscribed, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God," Matthew 5:9.
That's awesome.
And then up here on the upper, it says, "Si vis pacem parabellum." If you want peace, prepare for war. So when this is a completely built gun, it's actually called the Peacemaker. It has a special serial number, JFM, with the series number, which JFM stands for Jihadi Fighting Machine. So
that's brilliant.
That's what we've done with that one.
That's awesome. So, and you said these were going to Florida Gun Supply. So they're going to be primarily sold in Florida?
They are. They are sold all over.
Okay.
Actually, his website is for buying these guns is njihadi.com.
Okay, all right.
So we're building these as a proprietary manufacturer for
awesome.
Andy, and he's selling them all over the United States.
Good night.
Yeah. But it still works.
Yeah.
There you go, Luger. Check that out. You see the inside there? I don't have a punch on me.
That's after a gravel road, probably, a couple of miles back.
And it still fires.
Yeah, it's
back a four-wheeler being driven.
just a manual cycle it, but it has nothing to do with the way the gun got beat up.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Gas
Look at
was
that.
a hole.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
He's like, no, by the way, that wasn't me.
The assist is gone. Golly.
Just wanted to see what it could take.
Well, I tell you what, it really took it.
Well, S.W.A.T Firearms initially originated the name S.W.A.T Firearms in 1999.
Okay.
And that was when Gary Bramer, which used to be the FFL holder and owner of the company, when I met him, he had S.W.A.T Firearms, he and his son Ryan, and he worked out of his garage at home.
Oh.
And he just built a little here and there and built a little here and there and did gun shows. 2009 is when I met Gary, and it was really funny. I was selling t-shirts, he was selling guns. We got together and started selling guns together and got rid of the t-shirts. But we were buying from other sources
Okay.
to build the product and sell the product, and we pretty much outsold anyone in the market because we didn't put a high markup. We never have used a high markup on our firearms. So we outsold a lot of people. We got a lot of people mad at us because of that, but you know, it was business and we weren't out to rape the market, basically. Right. Even since then, we've gone on to, after the Sandy Hook massacre shooting, you remember how the market just completely dried up, and Gary and I couldn't get anything. It was like we just got nothing. We couldn't get a bolt, we couldn't get parts kits, we couldn't get barrels, we couldn't get anything. So we just kind of made the decision, either we were already out here by that time in Campbell. All right, we lived out here and we just opened a retail shop is what we did on that front part of the building. Right. We didn't have any of our equipment, okay, up until probably after that Sandy Hook shooting in February, March. We decided either we're going to go for broke, we're going to invest our whole livelihood, everything we've got into this business and manufacture our own. So we started with 1 machine, 2 machines, 3 machines, and we just kept building from that standpoint. And we just are cutting our own uppers and lowers. We decided what we wanted to do. Instead of the forgings, we wanted to go with the billet product, starting with just the machines doing billet. So that's what we bought and that's what we set it up for, was billet. At that point, we started looking at POF and Black Rain and the prices, thinking, wow, these are really high. You know, they're really high and not everybody can afford one of these. So we may have cut our throats by doing this, but again, we decided we were going to put that out, and we were new in the market. People hadn't heard of us, but we wanted to still offer a reasonable price. And that's what we did. We got a reasonable price. So we grew pretty fast. We're over 7,000 units now from 3.5 years ago. Wow. So we've grown fairly fast in that. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm not saying we haven't had a problem here and there, but we have very few. For people that know, the guys and gals that know the gun market and they know how to shoot and they know what they're doing, very, very, very little problem with that.
Is primarily most of your business done online, or is it just phone sales via, you know, outreach, or is it all inbound?
Phone sales.
Excellent.
Phone sales. I have 5 lovely, efficient, capable, beautiful phone sales ladies, and each one of them have their own. If you want to point that back there and just take a look at it for a second, all of my sales reps have their own states that they deal with. That makes it a lot easier. So if somebody calls in, and we do get quite a few call-ins, it makes it a lot easier to determine, okay, who does this call go to? All right, and each sales rep is efficiently trained, or if they're new, they do get trained on how to handle the sale, how to handle the call. And what I found out, a lot of people said, well, why don't you use men? They know more about guns. Not necessarily. I got a couple here that will outdo any man anytime on a gun. All right, they're way better than me, and I own the company. You know, they're way better than me. So I defer that to them because that's what they do. All right, they're, like I said, efficient, capable, very good people, very good ladies. So they handle their own states. Again, there's a couple not up there that's distributed, but that's okay. We take care of them anyway.
Right on.
So, and that's one of the things I wanted to throw in there and mention is my sales crew. They are absolutely wonderful.
Good deal.
So, and you know as well as I do, a small company is only as good as the people they have around them.
You know, you mentioned having a strong female staff.
Yes.
And yourself being the owner and FFL holder. How do you feel like do you have difficulties in the market with some of the, if you will, predominantly men or male outdoor and gun market? Do you have issues with that, or do you seem to Good
no,
deal.
not at all, because if I do, guess what? I don't deal with them.
Right on. Excellent. That's good.
That's the one great thing about owning the company.
Right.
I can make the choice to deal with them or not deal with them. But actually, we have not had that problem whatsoever. And what I actually love is my one salesperson who can just run circles around most men anyway in the gun market. You know, I say, Sarah, come here, Sarah, get on that phone and tell them like it is. You know, because we have found that a lot of men don't know guns. Okay, they don't. And one of our fortes here that we have found very successful, especially doing billet product, is that we sell a build kit to our dealers for a price that is just unbelievable. In fact, they say, well, what's missing out of there? Is the lower missing? Okay, what are you not putting in? No, we're putting everything in. Okay, we sell a complete upper with a lower build kit at a price that you're not going to beat anywhere. It's below forged market pricings. And hence, if you look over there, I mean, I've got stacks of orders like that, seriously, that people have ordered those things on because of the price point. So, and we still give them a full warranty. We take care of it. One of my biggest challenges is finding great suppliers, which I think I have that pinned down now. But right now, at current time, there's a lot of suppliers that are out of goods. That last little San Bernardino incident, all of a sudden it starts dominoing and everybody hops on the wagon at the same time and starts buying everybody out of everything. So it's you pick a little here and you pick a little there, and I'm in a lot better position than a lot of people are because my suppliers are still my vendors are still shipping me, not as much as I need, but at least I'm still getting something.
Right on.
All right, as far as where our market is going, continuing with the 223 multi-cal, we're going to do the 308s. We're going to, hopefully for spring, we're working on a 1911
Oh, that'll be cool.
and a 9mm. So we want to get into the pistol, handgun, market as well. And then we just do, we see something that looks neat. Hey, let's try this. Let's do this. So we're small enough so that at any point in time, any of my guys can come to me and say, let's try this. I'm like, okay, go ahead.
If I were a gun dealer and I wanted to contact you, how would I go about doing that if I wanted to resell your firearms?
Call us.
Awesome. And what's your
We
phone
love
number?
phone calls, and we actually do go to a voicemail system, but all you have to do is hit 1 for sales. That's it.
Okay.
It's 903 862 2408.
2408. Awesome.
Press
That's perfect.
1, and you'll get a person live on the line, and they'll direct you to who you need to go to.
Outstanding. Awesome. Thank you, Lee.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you're obviously one of the younger of the crew here, it seems.
Yes, sir. Yeah, 22.
So 22 years old, and you have a lot of experience. I mean, just now being able to get your CHL as of a year ago, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I got it
taken
that
care of.
day.
Right.
I was working at a shop, so I scheduled our CHL class on the same day I was there. I mean, I'm 22 years old. I've been working on guns for probably about 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
I just remember being a little kid. My dad went on vacation one time, and I'd gone down there in his room, and he had his Colt pre-band AR-15 sitting out there, and anybody knows a pre-band, those are the fun ones.
Yep.
And I completely took it apart. Like I took every bit of it apart. I was finding tools for it. I stripped a bunch of his stuff out, and I was trying to get it back together. And he got home a couple days earlier, and I remember him coming downstairs. And I'm coming in my room at like 1 in the morning, and he's like, "Jake, get up, man. Come on." And he wakes me up and he brings me in there, and he's like, "Look, man, I don't know how to put this back together." He's like, "You see me in here messing with it occasionally." He's like, I don't know how to put this back together, son." He said, "But you tinker on stuff a lot. You took it apart." He said, "Now you got to put it back together." So get to figuring that out. A couple days later, I had it back together, and then from then on, I worked on any gun I could get my hands on. But after that, I spent a little bit of time, actually playing guitar. I played guitar for a long time, and that was kind of a passion of mine. But I got back to working on guns about 4 years ago. I started working at a shop in Hopkinsville, Kentucky called the Constitutional Firearms. My dad opened.
Okay.
And I was doing all the gunsmithing and building a lot of custom stuff there for a lot of the guys at Fort Campbell and stuff like that. We had 101st Aviation over there, which was great to get to talk to those guys all the time, build some really cool stuff.
Right.
And then, eventually I got to kind of talking to Lee, and I wanted to get out of a retail kind of environment. I got tired of dealing with people. I like dealing with, aluminum and stuff like that. I started working with Lee, and her and Gary were really nice to me. They got me a place to come out here, stay at. I've been super duper generous with everything. I had the best job on the planet, I would say, because nothing gets made hard for me. Some people go into their job and they're like, "Oh, well, we ran into this, we ran into this." For me, it's like, yeah, occasionally we'll have a problem with a gun, but from then on, it's hey, we've got all these awesome parts for you. Go build guns with them. We do a lot of the custom side of stuff. We do a lot of Cerakoting here, but we also do a lot of Cerakoting at Arms Code. There's a guy named Gary there who does most of our heavy work, and he does all the custom stuff. We have a couple guns out there that have some Cerakote jobs that are just unbelievable.
Right.
He's an artist, and he's really close. We've been able to use him a lot. Our friends have really helped us in this a lot. You know, the people that do our barrel blanks, ER shop, they've been awesome. All their match rate stuff is great. All their bolts headspace perfect with them. You know, it's .154, .155 headspace. It's dead on matched.
That's awesome.
For all of our barrels. So, you know, for the new year, something we were kind of doing is we're guaranteeing the accuracy even on our base. You know, even on our cheapest rifle, it's guaranteed at 1 inch. With 55 Grand XM193s, that's what I test fire with. So, you know, you can go out and not spend $30 on a box of ammo to see if your gun will get the right kind of group. You can just go out, buy some federal crap, and go put it through it, not have any problems. At the same time, you know, if you want something that's going to last you, and if you're thinking on that standpoint, which crazy as it used to sound, a lot of people really think, you know, hey, shit is a van, which is completely reasonable in these, you know, days and times, unfortunately. But, you know, something like that is going to last.
Right.
You know, it's thick aluminum, you're going to drop it and beat on it, and since it's 60-61, it takes a lot more of a beat, it gets softer on the outside. But it's not going to expand and contract any differently than your typical stuff. It's going to last a lot longer because of how thick it is.
Right on. Here now.
All right, we've got SWAT Firearms, our complete Billet AR-15. You know, we machine the uppers and lowers in-house. It's all 60-61 aluminum, very tight fit. It's got an internal tensioning screw as well, so, you know, if it ever starts to loosen up while you're shooting it, you can always tighten it right back up. We use nitride coated bolt carriers. This is a Magpul MOE front end and back end on this right here. This is a very nice stock for the money that you pay for it. You know, it's a lot better than the typical GI stuff that you're going to get on your AR-15. Like this, well, plastic stock I've got sitting right over there behind you. It's, you know, it's much nicer. It's got a much better pad on it. It's a lot tighter on the stock, which if you don't have something wiggling in your shoulder, it's going to do a lot better for accuracy. It's got our standard heavy profile barrel on it. We use a 1 1/8 twist rate. We use the Shaw match grade blanks and correctly headspace bolts for everything. So it all matches up, and we guarantee the accuracy of this gun at 1 inch or under with XM193 ammo at 100 yards. Off of a rest, obviously, because some people's shoulder are really capable of that, you know.
And just to, you know, just to show you guys the example of what this looks like here, you know, so this one has a magazine. I'll just pop that real quick.
Exactly.
So this is just a cheaper, lower receiver that I brought in for comparison, and you can tell, if you can see that there, just the thickness and of these two different lower receivers just in the mag well itself. It's absolutely amazing how much work they put into this lower receiver, and actually how well it's put together. It's absolutely beautiful.
Are you ready? Okay.
That's beautiful. It's great.
SWAT Firearms isn't the top in the industry simply because they make precision ARs. It's not just because of their billet design or the superb suppliers or the building it all resides in. The reason SWAT exudes excellence is because of the people. Those people that show up day in and day out, talking with customers, building guns, laughing at each other, and putting their hearts and souls into their work. What you experience walking through the door is the trumpet boom of a family's love of their craft and of each other. Their form performance can be bought, is often sought, and rarely replicated. It is the definition of each and every one of them, and altogether, they make SWAT one of the best places around.
We don't build for a short time, we build for a lifetime here at SWAT Firearms.
This is Flint and Rod, signing off.